This was going to be like a little bit different, mainly to like all the other stuff on YouTube. And I love a motivational career video as much as the next person, but like quite a lot of them are all about like tearing up the book, throwing it out, like traveling the world, becoming an entrepreneur, like absolute hustle culture. And like for most of us, maybe that's either like not that realistic because you've got a whole other life that means that can't happen, or actually it's not what you really want. And like most of us are genuinely quite happy with where we work, but we could be happier and we know that we could enjoy our job more. So like this video is going to focus on that, which is a little bit more calm and sedate maybe than like some other videos, but I think it's just really important to focus on like the positives and what you can do to just enjoy your job generally. Now I've had probably like maybe 10, 15 jobs in my career, and I have to say none of them were perfect. All of them had like their things. So I think the first thing is often it's tempting to think the grass is greener, and that other people are having like much more enjoyable lives than you are, or much more enjoyable jobs, but that's just generally not true. I think there's a couple of things that kind of factor into that. Firstly, I think it's definitely about a perception or kind of what you focus on. So the grass is always greener where you water it. So while you're thinking about other stuff, actually you're letting your own grass dry a bit. And the second thing is like social media and career highlights and stuff. You're just seeing people's edited like versions of what they're doing. They don't show you like the really dull start that they had or the boring meeting. It's all the sexy, exciting stuff. So it seems that everyone around us is having these fabulous, fulfilling, challenging careers, but kind of that's not really true. And like you can't just compare like your reality to someone else's edited vision. So I think the first thing is just like take a perception check and see like what's driving you to feel slightly unhappy or that you can enjoy your job more. And if it is those external factors, then just take it with a pinch of salt, because they're probably not having as good a time as they're trying to tell you that they are. Or if they are, they're probably trying to sell you a like multi-level marketing thing or a course or whatever. So don't worry about it too much. Just think about like your own job and what you need to do to enjoy that more. The next thing to do is work out kind of what's irritating you or kind of what the friction factors. So often it's not about what's like, do you enjoy doing more? It's like, what do you want to do less of? Like, what are the annoying things? And that might be like, let's be honest, someone at work is really annoying. So can you just deal with them a bit less or kind of restructure that or whatever? Or it might be that the type of work that you're doing or like the tasks and stuff, there might be something irritating about it. So just reflect a little bit, kind of write down like where are the kind of irritation factors, and then see if there's anything you can do to kind of reduce the irritation. So it's a bit like a happiness project, is like focusing on the things that annoy you as much as the things you want to do more of. And then the flip side is, what do you want to do more of? So what bits of your job do you really enjoy doing, or what types of clients do you like, or like what types of projects do you like working on? So find out the things you really enjoy and then try to do more of those. Like put your hand up, volunteer, try and get onto new projects that are going to like align with what makes you happy. So it's kind of a twofold, like firstly you need to work out like what's the irritation and the positive factors, and then it's like reducing what the irritation is and like increasing what the positive is. Now of course every job is going to have the bits you don't like about it. I'm yet to find a job where like, I like everything about it, and there are still irritations, but the idea is that as you move through your career and as you move through your role, that you can try and reduce the things you don't like. Now that can be through like delegating tasks, it can be by suggesting new ways of working or new ways of doing things, and as I say, just kind of basically putting your hand up for doing more of what you like to do. The other thing that I think is really helpful to make you enjoy your job more is keeping a gratitude list. Now that might sound a bit weird because that's something we usually do kind of outside of our lives, but keeping a list of the things that you are grateful for or thankful for at work. What that allows you to do is actually see the positives and the things that you do enjoy, and allows you at the end of each day, which is how often I recommend doing it, like try and write 3 things every day that you're thankful or grateful for. It may be a meeting that went really well, or a pitch, or a report that landed well, or someone who you met at work who you found really interesting and wouldn't have done otherwise. But keep a gratitude list just so you can see the types of things that are going to make you happy, but also that reflection every day helps to change your mindset and focus on the positives. Often we focus on the things that didn't go right, the people that annoyed us, the stuff that didn't quite land, particularly in the olden days when we used to commute and drive home. Those would be the things that you kind of mull over. You wouldn't really focus or dwell on the things that went really well, because that's just like not human nature. So it may sound like an extra to do that you have to do at the end of your day, but actually I think it's a nice way to end the day. Just being like thankful and grateful for the things that you have had and the opportunities you have and the things that went well. And the other thing, which again is probably going to sound a bit weird, but is allow yourself to get excited. And it's almost a bit like dating this. I think when you're first dating someone, it's all new and exciting and you like make an effort, you dress up, you go on dates and you do all those things. And then like you get into a long-term relationship and some of that stuff kind of falls away. And it's kind of the same with job. When you're first at a job, you know, you make an effort to dress nicely, you get there on time, you're prepped, you're kind of organised. And then as we sort of relax into roles and time changes, like we like drop some of those good behaviors. So it can feel a bit samey and a bit mundane and like it's not that special. So like kind of go back to dating your job. So just get excited about it. Think about things that are coming up. Think about what you could do to make the extra effort or to really impress. And that's going to just reinvigorate you a little bit and also helpfully like lead to better opportunities. Once you've done all of that, there are kind of 4 main steps you can take. So the first step is really around clarity. It's about understanding what feels good or helpful to you and working out why that's important. Second, which is often the more difficult bit, is challenge, and that's about activation energy. So now you've worked out what you want to do, go do it. Like make those efforts, put those actions in, schedule the time, do whatever you need to do. And sometimes that's going to feel like extra work or it'd be easier not to, but I promise you in the long run, you're going to feel better for it. So step outside your comfort zone, schedule those extra things, like whatever it is, take a course, like ask to go to a certain type of meeting, ask for a different type of experience at work. It's going to be slightly uncomfortable to have those conversations and it's probably going to add to your workload in the short term, but it's going to make you feel like overall that you're enjoying it. I think Simon Sinek says like stress is working for something you don't enjoy, passion is working when you do enjoy it. And that's the thing, isn't it? You're going to be at work anyway, so you might as well put the effort in and enjoy it. The third thing is to always think about like with a growth mindset. So think about what the things you can do to stretch, challenge yourself, get yourself outside of your comfort zone and actively seek out those opportunities. So like just making sure that you're always coming at it with a positive can-do attitude is going to make a massive difference to how much you enjoy your job. I'm a big believer in the law of attraction, and by connecting with the idea of what you want is going to attract more of that into your life. And if something that you're looking at for work is more about the connection or like the people, often people will say when they leave jobs, oh, I'm not going to miss the job, but I'm going to miss the people. But if you haven't quite found your work tribe, and actually that's one of the things that's kind of missing to make your job more enjoyable. And actually, if you've been onboarded during the pandemic, you probably don't have those really key relationships because you've probably just not spent as much time with your co-workers. So one thing I think is really useful is to find a work wife. And by what I mean is that someone who you really resonate with at work. And that doesn't have to be in your immediate team. One of my best work wives actually works in a whole other bit of the business, but we just bonded at a conference and we share a very similar outlook. And she's a person who I can like vent at the end of the day if I need to. I can drop a sarky email and just generally like being able to bounce off her, not only for the negative, but she's actually awesome at like brainstorming and solutions, and it's really like dynamic and agile and brings a really different perspective. So just having that work wife, someone who I can feel like I can talk about work with, because many of my friends like don't really, I mean, my husband literally doesn't understand what I do. Like most of my friends don't get it. So it's nice to have someone in the business, but not necessarily like who's doing your job with you, but that you can kind of bounce those ideas off, like have a bit of a moan when you need to, but also then start to think about, oh, it'd be great to see like them for a coffee. So if you're watching this, you probably know who you are, but like, yeah, work wife, definitely a thing. And then the final tip is if you like haven't like worked out who your work wife is, then like perhaps there's something else you can do, like at work, join a social group or a welfare committee or like a network. There's going to be lots of things that perhaps your firm offers you or your wider industry. If you work in a really small company, it might not be there, but there might be other people who do similar jobs in other companies that you can network with and connect. And that's just going to help you feel like you've got someone who understands, but also that you're going to meet more like-minded people. And that is always going to make you enjoy your job more. So as I said, I've had like about 10 or 15 jobs and I've never found the perfect one. And often when you hop between jobs, you think that like the next one's going to be the perfect one. And sometimes it is because the work is, but the people aren't, or vice versa. But no job interview or kind of recruitment process can really tell you everything about the workplace, the culture, the team, like what you're actually going to be doing. So it's often unrealistic to think that you're going to find this perfect role somewhere else. So, you know, if you just think about it, if every week you got 1% more enjoyment out of your job, then by the end of the year, that's kind of a massive difference, isn't it? So don't look for the massive game changers, like changing your job, changing your career, like traveling the world. But look at the kind of the small gains that you can make every week that are just going to make your work life more enjoyable, like more fulfilling, and will just help you get the career you want. So that's kind of been a bit of a ramble about all the reasons I think you should just like look to enjoy your job more. And obviously if you're in a super damaging environment or something that's kind of absolutely like killing your soul, then like you need to get out of there. And believe me, those have been those times in my career. But I think it's just important just to think about what can you do proactively to enjoy your job a bit more, and ultimately just like help you build the life that you want. I'm Liz, and here on my channel I share tips, tricks and hacks about how to navigate your career, how to enjoy it more, how to get more time, how to make it more fulfilling, because I believe that everyone gets to be like the main character in their own lives, and we get to drive the changes that we want to see. So I'd love to hear what you thought of the video, or if there's something I've missed out or something you think I should think about, and please like and subscribe.